I'm going to add some context to this. I'm going to read you a short article so that you get up to speed of what has been found, because I think this is very important as a societal problem, especially when it comes to crime and particular groups that are constantly doing crime, notably mental health. So bear with me as I try and read. The man accused of killing his parents and their friends made his first court appearance Thursday. 34-year-old Joseph Eaton of Bowdoin has been charged with 4 counts of murder. Police say sister of one of the victims, 62-year-old Patricia Eager, found the body of her brother-in-law, 72-year-old Robert Eager, inside their Bowdoin home Tuesday morning when she went to the home to pick up a sweatshirt, but ended up discovering the tragedy that unfolded inside. She told the police there were bullet holes everywhere and several guns laying out throughout the home. 4 people killed, as well as a dog. A crime the state says Joseph Eaton has now confessed to. When the sister approached the house, she saw 2 drops of blood on the front steps. After yelling and not getting a response, the document shows she went into the home, found broken glass, blood on the floor, and a body covered by a towel. The woman called 911, and when police arrived, they found the bodies of Patricia Eager and 60-year-old Cynthia Eaton inside the home. The body of 66-year-old David Eaton was found outside in a barn. Now, just an FYI, Cynthia and David are his parents. Police also found a note in the kitchen stating that someone was molested, but nothing was done about it. The note mentioned someone being free from pain, and the author talked about wanting a new life. It was not addressed to anyone or signed. Later Tuesday morning, police received calls about drivers being shot at and on I-295 in Yarmouth. Police say 51-year-old Sean Halsey and his 2 children, 29-year-old Justin Halsey and 25-year-old Paige Halsey of Bowdoin, were hit and taken to hospital. Paige Halsey is still in critical condition. Another woman reported that as she turned onto exit 15, a vehicle came to a sudden stop and the driver pointed a handgun at her. Joseph Eaton was found near exit 15 southbound and taken into custody. Police believe he was driving a vehicle his father rented at the Portland Jetport Sunday. Officers say Joseph Eaton confessed to the 4 murders and to shooting at a vehicle on I-295. All right, now we're going to get into some context on what we know. We have a 34-year-old man. I can't find the article, but apparently he has had a slew of felonies through his life. This is not his first rodeo. Apparently, it's the first one to murder. He has killed his mom and his dad and their 2 friends whom he was staying with. Now, the thing that struck me as curious, when you have someone, mental illness or not, they tend not to destroy their support system. And a support system can be as little as passive-aggressively not helping an investigation that would get the person they're enabling into trouble. So they may not do much, but they don't help out at all. Therefore, they are safe for the abuser to be around because they know that that person will never turn them in, so to speak. And then you can have the other extreme of this person enables them by completely funding their entire life. The roof over their head, money in their pockets, all of it. So the bare minimum to the maximum. The one thing that is true throughout all of that is that the enabler helps the abuser abuse. And they rarely, I think this is actually the first case I've actually really dug into or heard about where they have killed their enablers. So 1, they weren't really enablers. 2, he has replaced them with another enabler. And the enabler can be family, can be friends, or in this country, in the USA, it has become the state. It also is odd for somebody to get to the age of 34, write out a note, this is why it's suspicious as well, claiming molestation, but not sign it or put any specifics in it. It seems very odd. It goes into premeditation or a thought of he knew what was right and what was wrong. I actually really like this interaction between these 3. It doesn't have anything to do with our subject matter at the moment, but these 3 show just a true human interaction. You've got the 2 sheriffs, and I'm going to assume the guy in the suit is a detective. We're assuming that. He could just be a court officer. I don't know. But the sheriffs are, one, actively engaging him in conversation, the other one just listening. And they're not paying too much attention to that door and window because as you watch, you see that they both see our detective here actively paying attention to that window so that they don't have to. And by common sense, they actively watch him. And in this particular way, it's conversation. It helps time pass. It's multitasking. Because if he were to alert that something is wrong, they would instantly know and understand that it's through that door, what he can see through that window, because they're paying attention to him while they're having a very nice conversation about who knows what. So now the conversation's kind of died down, and now he's completely paying attention to this window, not just checking every few seconds. The one sheriff has moved away to do other duties, and the other sheriff is not completely turned away from him. He's still paying attention to the detective, but not staring him down. He's just looking for a signal that, all right, here we go, I'm paying attention to you. So the redheaded gentleman is the attorney for Eaton during this part of the trial, or a court session. Another team is being assigned to Eaton. But the interaction between the two of them, and yes, we know he's a murderer. He has confessed. And asking for a psychiatric eval just says that he's trying to get out of it via, I'm crazy, I don't know what I'm doing. And I have no idea what conversation happened between this lawyer and Eaton. But he comes in the room, briefly gives eye contact to the lawyer as if, yes, he's there, and then the rest of the time avoids any eye contact with the gentleman. There's no friendliness there. And I guess I couldn't be really friendly with him either if I was a lawyer, knowing. But the confessed murderer, you would assume, would feign some kind of empathy to get the best situation he could get. But that's implying that he's a psychopath. And he could possibly still be a psychopath. No eye contact whatsoever to his lawyer. It's like the man doesn't even exist. Now, the killer, Eaton, does take a position of non-strength. So you see our lawyer here, he's kind of slumped, but he's trying to portray strength. The head's angled forward and down, the shoulders are kind of angled, but he's trying to straighten himself up. Whereas Eaton is completely slouched. He's put his head down in submission. We also see a little bit of an eye roll as he turns away, dismissive of the situation. And he doesn't want to give eye contact to pretty much no one. Now, he has been in jail before. This is not his first rodeo. So he knows how this works. Keep that in mind. That is part of the context here. He also knows that he has confessed. So we see our confessed killer. He's giving eye contact and then at the same time looking away as quickly as possible. It's like he does not want to be seen looking at the judge. He's feigning disinterest. It's also something that you would see someone with a lot of hate towards something. They don't want to look at what they hate, but they have to because they have to be knowledgeable about what's going on. By the way, I love that beard. Kind of reminds me of Colonel Sanders, but I love the beard.
Yes, Your Honor. Leanne Robin for the state.
James Mason on behalf of the street.
Thank you. So the record's clear. The court is appointing Attorney Andrew Wright to represent Mr. Eaton, but due to other court responsibilities, he couldn't be here today. Mr. Mason is standing in. Mr. Mason, are we ready to proceed with the initial penalty?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Eaton, could you please stand? Mr. Eaton, you were here for your initial appearance on a 3-count criminal complaint that has been filed against you here in Saginaw County, alleging 3 counts of intentional or knowing murder. It's alleged that on or about April 17th, 2023, in the town of Bowdoin, that you did intentionally or knowingly cause the death of 4 people: Robert Eager, Patricia Eager, David Eaton, and Cynthia Eaton.
So they watched the hands on this. Not very happy with the film crew on this one. It'd been nice if they showed him and what we could see. But as he's reading the names, we see a hand pull in. Let's see that once again.
You did intentionally or knowingly cause the death of 4 people: Robert Eager, Patricia Eager, David Eaton, and Cynthia Eaton.
And you see that come through. He squeezes his hand. So you've got some stress there on these murders. And because we have no idea what transpired in that house, what part is true, what part is just made up, what part is him getting out of whatever he's trying to get off, there is something in those names, that murder, that leads to that motive. Because you get a fist like that tightens up like that and then releases. It's a stress point, which makes me sit there and think there is regret. Or he's reliving, actually pulling that trigger. We can't really tell from one tell. Just one gives us nothing. We need the facial and we need the body's reaction, and the hand isn't enough.
4 counts of intentional or knowing murder. Do you understand the charge? Yes. Thank you. I did not be asked to answer a plea today because you have not yet been indicted.
You also see the hard swallow as he spoke to the judge. So a lot of stress in that, talking to the judge, which again goes back to the prison mindset. This man is not a virgin to prison society, but he's definitely more of a subordinate mindset. So it ends. Apparently maybe the next one will be on June 28th. Now, hopefully, as this trial progresses, we will be able to see why he did what he did. Was this a victim type thing where the note alludes to of molestation? Is this an enabler type thing where the no was received the first time in his life? Or is he just a cold-blooded killer?
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers.